96.1 ODC Central New York's greatest hits, 10 cc's there. The things we do for love. I'm Keith James, and the things we do for food is probably the better way to put that. 7:17 on the clock, 60 and sunshine. The wonderful smells of chicken Riggies filling the Oldies 96 studio. This particular restaurant is, we give away their gift certificates quite frequently on the air here, and they were just in studio about a month ago because of that succulent Boilermaker burger. But today, they have been nominated for the Best of Utica Riggies. And I've got the owner and creator of Carmela's Cafe in studio right now, Mr. Mike Ezzo. Great to have you, man.
Well, thanks. It's great to be here.
Yeah, those Riggies smell amazing. And we have to talk for a few minutes, then we can eat, but I want to eat them now. So we were talking off air. You educated me like crazy. There's a lot that goes into your Riggies. It's not just, popping them out of the freezer and then onto somebody's plate.
No, don't even mention that word, freezer.
So if you can give us the short version of what makes your Riggies different.
It starts in the beginning with a quality homemade noodle that's made with durum and semolina and cooked al dente, which some people say means sticks to your teeth. And by making that noodle yourself, you control what goes into it. It makes it a much better starting place. And then to go even further, we take fresh, never frozen chicken breasts, marinate them for a day, and then charcoal broil them, and then cut them up in bite-sized pieces, waiting for that order to come in. And then we take bell peppers, red, green, and yellow, Spanish onions, and we cut those up in 1-inch squares, marinate them so that they're ready to go. So when you order it, we pull all these ingredients together. And, of course, we use a Riggies sauce, which is unique to Carmela's because it's made with two sauces that we make only at Carmela's. One is the California sauce, which is tender tomato fillets, sautéed in garlic and oil and basil only for about 10 minutes. And then we also make a stronger Alfredo sauce made with pecorino romano, which gives it a big flavor burst. When you mix those two sauces together, you get the pink Riggies sauce that we use. So we saute all that up, and we add some olives and a couple hot pepper rings, not to make it hot, but to melt in some flavor. And if you're not a fan of hot peppers, that's okay. Just push them to the side, but let us put them in there for you to get the flavor.
Yeah.
If you insist, we won't put them in, but I think you'll like it if we do.
Wow. I can't wait, Mike. Tell me about the restaurant. You've been going since 1985?
That's right. We opened up on tax day, April 15th.
Tax day.
That's how I can never forget it.
Yeah.
And it's been great. Hartford's a great place to have a restaurant. We have really great customers, and naturally, we try and maintain the defining edge between us and a chain.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always maintained the premise that in every city there is a great benchmark Italian restaurant that's been there for a long time. Maybe a little tattered and torn, maybe a little worn down, but the food is always good because it's homemade and Mom's back there making it with love.
Right.
However, we have chains now coming to town, and they are squeaky clean and shiny, and everybody loves them, but they don't have Mom in the kitchen, and that makes a big difference. So what I've tried to do at Carmela's is take the best of the chain, which is the organization and the cleanliness and the consistency that you find in a well-run chain, and combine it with the warmth and charm and goodness that you find in a good mom-and-pop restaurant, and try and give you the best of both. And that seems to be working. Our sales are good. I'm very, very pleased that competition comes and goes, but we keep trugging along. Of course, the other thing is having a good staff. The people that work there are people who like people, and it shows.
Right.
And that makes it a lot easier because they know instinctively how to treat a customer. When we do have an intensive training program to make sure, but you have to start out with the right person.
Sure.
And I'm so proud of the people who represent us.
Well, there he is, Mr. Michael Ezzo of Carmela's Cafe, describing his amazing Riggies and, of course, how proud he is of both the Riggies and his restaurant and staff. We're going to get right back with him and his Riggies next. Before they get cold, we're going to taste test them on air after we get some weather and Grand Funk Railroad on 96.1. 96.1 ODC Central New York's greatest hits. Rolling Stones there with The Beast of Bird. And I'm Keith James, 7:33 sunshine and 60. And by no means is making chicken Riggies for you a burden to Mike Ezzo and the staff over at Carmela's Cafe. They're in studio now with their chicken Riggies. We're going to taste test them in just a couple minutes. But Mike, I've been to your establishment a whole bunch of times, and I got to tell you, my favorite table is off to the right, that corner table there. That corner.
The round?
Yeah, the corner round. That's where I have to go there every single time I go.
Meeting table.
Yeah. if the bar is full anyway.
That's right. We can still get you 2-for-1 down there. Too.
Yeah. So about your Riggies, how did you come up with the idea to make them the way that you make them now?
When I learned that the Riggies was a phenomenal thing in Utica, and everybody kept saying you need to have Riggies on your menu, I wanted to make sure that we would have good representation. So I actually sent people out to every restaurant in the area that sold Riggies, and I got carryouts from every single one. I spread them on a round table, had all the managers and cooks sit around and sample them all, and we found out what we liked or didn't like about each dish. And then we said, okay, now let's go back in the kitchen and make the best Riggies we can make.
So these are the quintessential Riggies, then, for the Utica area, as far as you're concerned.
And I'd like to say they're standard. They're not a novelty. They don't change with the weather. They're always the same. You can ask us to make little changes for your personal pleasure, but we're going to try and give you a consistent product every time unless you tell us to change it. And if you have an idea, we'll be glad to implement it. You just got to ask.
Well, Mike, I'm not a chef, but my taste buds know when they like something, so I'm going to go ahead and put some Riggies in the mouth, if that's okay.
That's a good idea.
All right. I don't want them to get cold, you know?
Exactly.
All right, so here we go. The Carmela's amazing Riggies in the mouth. Here we go. There was some chicken. I'm going to get something else in here. I want to get some of these famous homemade noodles in here, too. And the sauce sticks to the noodle, by the way, Mike.
Yeah,
I can see it.
That's the benefit of homemade. It has more chances to catch sauce.
These are great, Mike. I want to keep on going. What kind of cheese was it again?
The cheese in the Alfredo sauce is a Pecorino Romano.
Mm-hmm. The extra little punch is what you're talking about. Yeah. These are great. These are outstanding, Mike. Thank you very much for bringing them in.
I really appreciate you asking.
Wow. I'm going to one more bite. One of my guests called me out. They're like, listen, you're just hungry. You just want people to bring in food for you while you're doing this, right?
What's wrong with that?
I love the fact that all the thought that went into it. My mind was blown when we were talking off air about every little step that you made and how you got all the Riggies together. That's crazy.
Well, we wanted to have something that everyone would enjoy.
Yeah, and a little bit of industrial espionage never hurt anybody, you know? So Mike Ezzo of Carmela's, he and his restaurant are right this second in second place underneath the Crazy Clam for the Best of Utica competition. And they're very, very close to first, as a matter of fact. So they're going to need your help.
Yes, I would love everyone to help, especially if you like our Riggies.
Right.
You need to show the community that you do like them and make sure that a local restaurant wins this contest.
So what else does your restaurant offer that you like, Mike?
We have great hamburgers that are fresh, never frozen, and they're thick so you can cook them to order. That means if you like them rare or medium rare, well done, we can do that. We use certified Angus beef, so the steaks are really good. And we have a lot of pasta dishes, the real authentic Italian thin crust pizza that is crispy and usually has a little brown around the edge because it came out of the oven. With the sauces and the combinations really, really go well. And of course, we do have great greens. And a lot of great appetizers, 2-for-1 after 8 o'clock, 2-for-1 drinks every day, all day.
The way to everybody's hearts is through their stomachs, right?
Exactly.
Through their ears. Mike Ezzo from Carmela's, thanks for stopping by today, man.
All right, thank you.
Good luck in the competition.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. All right, there he was, Mike Ezzo of Carmela's with those awesome chicken Riggies made with homemade love. And they're currently in second place right now. Just a little bit underneath the Crazy Clam in second place, and there's still, what is today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, up until Monday at 10 o'clock you've got to vote, and then we're going to choose a winner, and that's going to be it. So if you'd like Carmela's to be higher than second place or to keep their spot, because the third place person, Raspberries, is not too far out of third place either. So it could be anybody's ball game, but if you like Carmela's, make sure that they stay where they are or rise a little bit higher at 961WODZ.com. And we're going to go ahead and make Mike Ezzo, your person of interest today. You can enter his name online at 961-WODC.com for a chance to win some brand new stuff inside that Classic Rewards Club. And we were talking a little bit off air because we're both pilots. You wish you could have heard some of that discussion because it's fun to talk flying on the air. But today's about food, so maybe we'll get Mike back in some other day and we'll talk flying for you flying and airplane buffs out there. So it's Riggies Day. A vote for Carmela's online weather and Johnny Rivers on the way.